Good morning. Welcome to Breakfast Poetry Live. I'm outside. It is so hot in my little oven house because of the heat. And now it's cool out here, but my house is retaining the heat. So I'm outside. National Poetry Month. It's Saturday. And I also have the milk glass stein again for Janine Palmy Vega because I found the book Poems to Fernando. In fact, I have this whole posted of all these corrections from when I talked about her the other day. Here's Poems to Fernando by Janine Palmy Vega. The back is definitely going to inspire the next poetry hat. The lighting is much better out here. I don't see a lot of blasting. Wheels are turning. So anyway, she's got on a great poetry hat, and I will definitely, certainly, absolutely try and carve that today for the next week of poetry hats. And oh, I didn't mark the page I wanted to read from, so that was smart. But I'll read a couple of lines. I don't know if I can find the one I want. I'm pondering on camera, which is always polite. Grope not so with the mind over what the heart knows. Now that's rich. I mean, that's good. I watch how you went limping over the earth, his tool containing, and his will is done. Oh, how many for all the ferment in heaven here. Ferment as opposed to firmament. I kind of like that. Anyway, very cool. Poems to Fernando. And my corrections are Janine Palmy Vega was 15 when she joined the Beats in New York, not 16 in California. Fernando was not Spanish. He was Peruvian, but he did die in Spain. And of course, his last name was Vega because Janine Palmy Vega's last name is Vega, and it's got the Peruvian lilt. So there you go. Really cool book. I enjoy it. It came in this little bag. So I hope that you enjoyed hearing a few lines. I had a really cool one picked, but then I was like, I'm going outside and didn't mark the page. And I try to be very careful with that book. It is the first book of poetry that I paid more than $40 for. And I've done it a couple of times since Hallucinated City and Weisberg. What's Weisberg's first name? I don't remember. I will find out because the memory, that's why I'm a poet and not like a blood transfusion technician, because I don't remember all the important details on the spot, you know? I had a friend that we used to watch ER in college every Thursday night, and he was a Spanish major and I was a German major, and we're like, oh, well, if we misconjugate a verb or something, nobody's going to die of the wrong blood type. So that was how we nursed our stress. Also Noah Wiley and George Clooney. So the end. Okay, let's read a weird work, shall we? All righty. The stillness of the canal's surface stills our minds, enchants and soothes us. Stillness excels at luring us nearer to admire our frocks and beads in the glass. But we are not the only ones submerged. The dead blink their melting eyes, jealous of our finery, craving our sparkling rings of minerals to ward off the poking polling of the gondoliers. I thank you. I know that was an attempt for an ekphrastic poem that for the Ladies of Horror Challenge. And I apologize, Nina, if you're tuning in. I totally spazzed on the ekphrastic for Ladies of Horror during National Poetry Month, of all things, to my great shame. I know they're always due the 10th. We get them the beginning of the month or a couple of days before. The poem is due the 10th, ideally. I found the email on the 12th because I've been doing a lot of things for National Poetry Month and, just a lot of daily stuff. And so thank you always for inviting me, Nina. Even though I'm a problem child and I don't do it through Facebook, I realized months in that everybody does it through Facebook. And I'm just like, she has to send me an email because, I'm a problem child. So anyway, I'll try and get better about being better. Another thing I must apologize for is I have received a couple of poems to read aloud for Third Sunday Poetry, and we recorded it last night. That is like my confession right here and now. Angela had a conflict, and I didn't mind freeing up my Sunday afternoon after all of the fun activities of this month that have. But I have to say, we did it Friday night, which was last night, after I had worked a shift that wasn't like a normal shift. It's like I think they called me in to cover the phones for a couple hours because they need 4 people on hand to close. And, but there wasn't a lot else to do. So I was doing a lot of the training on the internet. And so it wasn't as much fun as actual library work. So I was kind of like, and then I got home late, and then Angela was running a little late, and then the poetry ran long because, man, couldn't focus and he couldn't get on track. Angela had a really cool thing she shared. And I shared something that was kind of an interesting project that is kind of on the back of my mind for like the last year and a half. But anyway, I accidentally told my birthing story again. It's so good. It's such a good story. I think it's great. So if you're ever going to give birth and you're worried about it, I had a great birth, just so you know. Okay. All right. Birth. Sometimes it makes people uncomfortable, but not me. So, okay. Yesterday's beautiful word was axiom. And I have to say, I kind of had to labor over this one. And then finally, during Third Sunday Poetry, it quietly clicked. And then after Third Sunday Poetry recording, I was like, what was that again? And then I remembered it. So the axiom, beautiful word poem for today. My axiom, my axe, my angst. Angst and axe are well-worn facts. Of them, we go mostly naked of suspicion. Reams of long-dreaded axioms, however, rust and writhe and crumble into new and to question marks. The end. Now, okay, if you've seen Nihil, Nihil, from what, like 1987 or something, I'm going to post a link to that scene. I definitely lifted from where Blix Bargeld is playing the crazy dude, and he's like, it's in German, so he's like, going back, he steals an axe from this dude, creepy, and he's like, meine Axt, meine Angst, meine Axt, meine Angst, meine, which is German for my axe, my fear, my axe, my fear. We get the word angst from German. And it was brilliant. I don't know that he wrote that scene. It was probably written, but he sure did kick it in the butt when he performed it and walk away with fire. I will post that link to that scene because, by gosh, it's a blessing. So that helped me very much with my axiom poem, but I wanted to give credit where it was due. I'll just post that, and that's the simplest thing. Alrighty, so let us draw a beautiful word for tomorrow's poem. Sometime between today and tomorrow. I have to say I like the lighting out here a lot better. It's helping. Dudes. Angst, and you can see it for yourselves. So we went from axiom to angst, and we featured angst today. So, oh gosh, I've got to muster some more angst for tomorrow. Or angst, if it's the 90s in Missouri. That's probably how we said it, but we did say it a lot. It was the Zeitgeist, which is another German word. The Germans have beautiful words for things that we don't necessarily have words for. Spirit of the times, we would say, but they said it as one word. They have a word called gemütlich, which means, well, it's the specific sense of sort of comfort and coziness that takes place in a restaurant. I love that about foreign words. Here is the poetry hat. What? Two-sided. Check it out. I was like, I did, when I was doing the pink berets, I had a little ink left, and I'm like, I'll just do one more stocking hat. Let's see how it looks. And I'm glad I did, because I was one beret short. That was because I messed up the lettering while somebody was talking to me. And so thankfully, have a spare that is either a faded blue or a pink. Oh, what will it be? Well, it's going to be the pink, of course. I don't know though. Look at this one with my lipstick. That was a very bottom of the tray ink on that one. But I must pull a phrase from our can of poetry hat phrases, which is more nighttime gibberish, just like the weird word works, but just shorter ones that are going to fit on a poetry hat. Immaculate onion slices, send them to the moon. I can't bear immaculate perfection. I can't bear it. So now you know that about me. Obviously, I have a Post-it with 4 corrections on it. So, all right, welcome to the chaos. Well, thank you for joining me out here in my backyard for breakfast poetry live, April 15th, technically tax day in America, but I think they shoved it back to May 17th. So if you're behind, have no fear. It's a beautiful day. I had a thunderstorm last night. I had to sleep in the living room so I could have the windows open, because my husband can't have the windows open sometimes. The violets are popping. I don't know if you can see them. If I can pick those and immerse them in freaking olive oil, it makes medicine for your skin. So let's all be glorious hippies. It is April. It's National Poetry Month. I hope you're having a good one. See you tomorrow.